My name is Naima, founder of the Academy for Womanhood, and we help women come into power. The intent of my company is to restore real power, okay? Which, if your aroused, erotic state is not included, you're going to be in a circuitous kind of power where you just sort of circle in one spot. And you'll do things from different angles, but it'll still be at that one spot. Versus when you exist in the realm of full power, you are literally in an innumerable, you can really lead and do the work you're here to do. How about that? Because there's so many ways to say it. You can really lead and do the work that you're here to do. So I want to invite you into two things, and then I want to talk more about erotic power. Perhaps I should have put that here at the top of the video. Erotic power, full power, okay? And what marketing, messaging, magnetism, and shadow gold has to do with it. So first of all, shadow gold is a foundational tool that I created for any woman who's sincere about power. Shadow gold. So shadow gold was created as a foundational tool for any woman who's sincere about full power. I repeat, shadow gold was created as a foundational tool, meaning you start at shadow gold for any woman who calls herself coming into being a full powered woman. What women were called a witch for being historically. Okay. This is not just about confidence. This is not just about authenticity, which that's an aspect of it. This is about you being fully engaged physiologically, nervous system level, entire being with the work you're called to do in the world. And with my company, part of the categories that we serve women is women who are here to be world-changing leaders. Okay. You're meant to be front-facing, okay? You're meant to build up a leadership team, okay? You're meant to be a steward of millions, perhaps billions of dollars. So there's an astuteness, there's a wisdom, there's a full-on engagement with all of life that's required, that when a woman is not in her power, she's going to not be able to do it. She's going to start and stop. She's going to be her own enemy. She's going to not be able to really do the thing and play at the actual levels that she's very called to play at. So this is very world class. This is very high level for those particularly who go beyond shadow gold. I want to be clear, okay? So again, shadow gold is foundational. It's where you start if you're serious about your power. If you feel like your power was stolen from you, you were abused, you were lied to, you were not informed, you were not actually raised, you just lived in a house with adults, if you are loaded down with shame, if you know you don't know who you are, if you're scared of life, if you're playing small, if you constantly project onto other people and you're quietly looking for somebody to save you, to do it for you, to come give you permission, all of this are indicators that you are a little girl in a woman's body. Again, all of these are indicators that you are a little girl in a woman's body, and you will continue to age and not be able to do what you really want to do. Have the money you really want to have, be in the relationships you really want to be in, feel how you really want to feel, do life how you really want to do it. If you are not at a foundational level, full-bodied, full-powered woman. Now, if that's okay with you, right? Like if you like, what I see that it takes, right? Because I have a bounty of content on my TikTok wall for you to look and hear and learn and see. And your senses, your intuitive knowing will tell you what to do, what's required. And you will either say, yes, I'm leaning in and I'm growing up, or no, for whatever your reasons are for saying no. So I'm recommending shadow gold for any woman who knows that she is a female cosplaying a woman. Again, I am recommending for shadow gold for any female gendered being who knows that she's cosplaying as a woman. You know you're not at full responsibility yet for your life and your choices. You know that you are not taking up space in the world the way you want to. You know you are not going after the things you really want. You know you waste a lot of your time in insignificant, small, petty, energy draining things. You know that you're afraid to be a woman around your mother. You know you still harbor a lot of resentment toward him and her and your daddy and your husband and your ex and them and they did all that because you have yet to reconcile and be in ownership of the choices you have made and how you are choosing to handle trauma, past hurt and pain. Okay. Doing this kind of work deliberately is what graduates you from female into woman. Doing this kind of work, this is womanhood. Okay. To graduate yourself from merely being a female gendered being with breasts and a vagina who can push out babies and cook and clean, and graduate you into a woman who takes up space in her life, who becomes refined and true in her expression, who is authentic, who is open, who knows how to love, give and receive love, is spacious, full-bodied. You feel her. She's unapologetic. That is deliberate womanhood work that my Shadow Gold foundational tool takes you from being a female gendered person, which is any and everybody who's born with a coochie and the opportunity for breasts, and graduates you into womanhood. Okay? Are there any questions about that? Does that make sense? What does it mean then to be a woman? Knowing who you are. Let's start there. Knowing who you are and having that actually lived out in the world. So who are you, Ellie? And that's for everybody here. Who are you? And are you living her out in the world? And if that satisfies you, so be it. Most women are not, they don't know who they are. and if they do have an idea of who that she is, she's not letting that live in the world because she's afraid of judgment. She's loaded with shame, all the things. So the work would be required for you getting rid of shame, which is the primary thing. And it's the rot of human civilization, dealing in the realm of shame, which is why inside of Shadow Gold, one of the modules is, what are you afraid of people finding out about you? Another one is, what lies do you tell that create your hell? Okay. Behaviors, honest. There's one. The question is, what characteristics or behaviors makes the difference between? And let me ask you, Ellie, what do you think makes the difference between? Because often we have the answers, we just don't live them. We either don't admit or we don't live them because we don't want the responsibility of living as a woman. And it's all been set up over time for it to be this way. But in 2025, all bets are off. It's on you. So anybody who chooses to stay small, they are choosing their prison, leave them there. Or maybe y'all can make friends, all right? Because everybody want to be with their likeness. So, go marry a man who feels like this is a prison planet. Y'all will get along wonderfully. Y'all can go have conversations about, because there you go, see, prison, see, and y'all can make love in that energy. Y'all can go, right? And strengthen your bond through the prison planet we live on and see, because it's, baby, you can have it however you want it. And that's how everybody is doing it. Please know that. No matter how much somebody complain, if they stay there, they want it. Remember that, okay? For those of you who are new here, Shadow Gold is a foundational tool that I created as a beginner for women who are ready to grow up and deal in real power. What you need to understand is, and after I answer these questions, I'm going to go into the erotic, really the life force of living to help bring this home even more. So you can get Shadow Gold right now with the link in my bio. And I'm also happy to have phone conversations with those of you who are serious about Shadow Gold, or messaging, marketing, and magnetism, which also is at the link in my bio, okay? Messaging, marketing, magnetism, I'm going to talk more about later. And that's for those of you who are serious about bringing your story, organizing it, and putting it into your marketing to sell your products, programs, digital items, books, coaching, retreats, etc. So we're going to get there. Hold on. So any woman who's serious about her power, and when I say power, I mean her erotic, full-bodied self, her erotic, authentic self, her full, aroused, awakened state, activated, lived, and on out in the world. So this is what I mean by full power. Inside of Shadow Gold, which is a tool that you can get right now with the link in my bio, I take you through the foundational phases of how to set yourself up to be that. There's the foundation of you, and then there's what you're going to do in the years to come. Shadow Gold is to set up the foundation of you, sort of like K through 12. Okay. Someone asked Bethy, so what does it mean by bringing your sex forward? I think you meant to put sex there. What does it mean by bringing your sex forward? For a woman, it's allowing her arousal to be seen. Allowing her arousal to be seen. And further, engaging with what happens and what feedback she gets from the external world as a result of her arousal. Okay. To give a short history lesson. Okay. So we live today. We live in 2025, right? And I don't know what your knowledge base is. Questioning, for any of you who have questioned how we got here, okay? For those of you who have had honest conversations with your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother about what life was like in the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, right? So you could juxtapose what life was like for women in the 50s versus what life was like for women today, right? And for pretty much all of us, the 40s is about how far back we can go as far as speaking to somebody who is actually alive today, where you're not reading a book, it's not a dream, it's not hearsay. You actually talked to your grandmother, okay, who was alive then to talk to you about, so you could have some real information about what life was like, right? And I've talked to my grandmother. And my mother, her grandmother, which is my great grandmother. So my mother has, things that she got from her grandmother, which is my great grandmother, who I never actually talked to. So I hear about what my great grandmother said through my mother. Okay. So and then for those of you who have read books from, there's so many of them, biographies, Lydia Poet, that was a show, a documentary on Netflix, who was the first female attorney in Italy. Fill in the blank, right? All the women we could point to from 100, 300, 500, 700 years ago or more, what life has been like for women. Okay. And so, and again, this is deep and wide, and I could write a series of books on this. As far back as recorded history, okay, because there's a lot of history that's not recorded. It's not in a book. You can't go study it anywhere. So as far back as recorded history, okay, there has been where the feminine was revered, the eroticism and life force and the vivaciousness of creativity was vibrant and revered, and women were respected. And it's not just, when we think about the modern mind, it's much more, woman has so much egoic attachment to it in a way in modern times. It's like a caricature of what a woman is supposed to be, right? And yet when we read books like The Sacred Prostitute and other old books that lay down the vibration of the times where the feminine was revered, when all men, whether they were aristocrats or well-to-do men or just average men, went to women for the connection to the abundance of life itself, went to women for what I just said at the most abundant levels, where her aliveness, the understanding that a woman's aliveness was essential to the bounty of the world, of the nation, of the family, of the village, that her aliveness, that her eroticism, that her spaciousness, that her laughter, that her creativity, that her exploration, that her play, that all of it was essential to life itself. Okay? So this is eroticism. Okay? So the being in full-on relationship with the air, sound, the way it feels to be in my body, the plants, the children, all of my organs, the sense of things, the connection with you, the eating of food, the how we live our lives, the dancing, the interaction. Okay, where today, for a woman to engage in that, it's like, oh God, how do I make the time? I'm so busy. How do I make the time to dance and play? And oh my God, right? So again, we're talking about modern times versus a time such as what is talked about in The Sacred Prostitute, okay, which is all about the feminine, okay? So those times, which is recorded history, right? If we can write about it, it's recorded, right? And the time, particularly with the advent of Christianity, the colonial, y'all know the word I'm talking about, right? So the advent of these things, the deciding to parcel out land, okay? Remember, there was not a such thing once upon a time. Right? So the deciding to parcel out land, meaning this is mine and this is mine, and the consciousness of I'm taking yours. I'm taking yours, and I will do what it takes to have yours, right? So one could argue, one could create a whole career around arguing. Well, this happened at this time and this happened. We're not doing that because none of us were there. And anybody could write anything the way they want it to be written. Okay? Focus on the now, people. It's all impermanent. Part of what was needed in order to control, okay? So again, the advent of Christianity, the advent of even the nuclear family, because that's the whole creation. The nuclear family is a creation. 1, controlling land. 2, controlling women. 3, controlling the minds of civilization. Okay? So all of this was ordered and crafted, and religion was the primary tool to order and craft it. Okay? So this is me laying down some framework for how we got to where we are today. Historically, and I'm talking about before the advent of Christianity, before the advent of the nuclear family, before the advent of controlling land and parceling out consciousness by way of religion. Okay, so this could become very nuanced, but I'm going to lay it down as pre-Christianity, okay, and then after Christianity. So Christianity has been around 2,000 years, give or take, right? People got different numbers, but give or take, Christianity has been around for 2,000 years. And prior to Christianity, the suppression of the woman, okay, was not, the way we were just talking about, oh my God, wild, right? Like, I just want to say this right now. This topic of abortion, which is people got strong emotions around this abortion thing. And there are exceptional, circumstances. Who knows, right? Somebody was raped, right? And I want to bring this to the nature of things. I have a former client who lives it's in the Caribbean. I can't remember the name of this island. It's not a popular island, but it's in the Caribbean. And she's very much into plants and health. She's very much into health and detoxing and purifying and really grabbing from the land to eat and nourish the body. And she posted on TikTok maybe about 3 years ago about this particular plant. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's a plant, and she used the word abort. I thought it was so interesting how she used that. But basically there's this plant that the plant can assess which of its offspring is weakest. And she said it aborts the weakest one so it can give all of its nourishment to the strongest one. I'm going to message her and find out what plant that is because I just love that analogy. Why am I sharing this? Because prior to, oh God, prior to like the birth of the Malleus Maleficorum. Okay, so the Malleus Maleficorum was basically a Bible for how to kill, control, punish, instill fear in women who were powerful before the witch trials. Again, it's called the Malleus Maleficorum. It was written by 2 German monks in collaboration with the Roman Catholic Church. You can go Google it and read it yourself, okay? Malleus Maleficorum. I want you to understand how we got here so you can understand why it's just so normal and why it's, for those of you who have quietly questioned the weirdness of your relationship with the man in your life and understanding why is this, right? Because women, I work with women for a living and I have been for 13 years. And all women at some point are trying to, when they start to see themselves, when you get out of the whole romance stages of the first few years of the relationship and you've been in it for a while and you start to look at things different and see different and you realize the dynamic at play, who he really is, who you are, you start to see and you wonder, how did men get so revered in this way? The average male. I'm not talking about the men who actually actualize, because a man who actualizes is a very different being. And even that conversation about a woman's job in relationship to a man, a woman's job in relationship to a man. See what I mean by all this content is going to be coming onto YouTube. And it's for all women can benefit. And for those of us who are visionary, though, I want to say this before I go on. Like women like me who I haven't even started yet. This little TikTok stuff and these videos, it's great, it's good, it's foundational, it's laying down some framework. But where we're going is much bigger. So for women, if you're here and you know that it's important for you to play a big game, meaning you need to build out a leadership team where you are mentoring and guiding your team, the ones who are responsible for helping you move forward the vision, okay? You know that there's a getting things out of the way of you, how you currently keep yourself repressed or trying to hide behind your current success to keep yourself separate at an egoic level, to feel like you're better than those people, the ways you're afraid of the responsibility or even sustaining your power because you know, and I'll tell you this, on this side, in the avoidance state, waiting, it always feels redundant, almost impossible. It's like a big thing. Oh God, it's just overwhelming over here. And think about things you have done in the past. Something you may relate to is when you finally signed up to work with that personal trainer. And the first week was hell. Maybe the first month was hell. But the first week was hell. But after about 2-3 weeks, you were like, I'm so glad I signed up for this. And then you start talking big shit. And then your body started to change. And you was like, I'm knocking bitches down. And da 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 da. When before that, though, you was like, oh God, I can't believe I don't want to. See how that works? It's the same thing with you stepping into the thing you're really here for. Only this time, it's the adventure of your fucking life. Bitch, we dying, bitch. Did you forget? Bitch, I'm telling you, listen, I'll be like, once that really clicked for me, listen, you could be mad. Ooh, oh God. Are you aware you're gonna die? The great drunk poet, Charles Bukowski. The great drunk poet, Charles Bukowski. On the 26th, this coming Sunday, it's messaging, marketing, and magnetism. I'm just gonna say this before I have layered conversations here. This coming Sunday, we start messaging, marketing, and magnetism. Who here is ready to organize their story, put it into your content, put it into your packages that you'll be selling, whether it's your book, your digital products, your retreat, your coaching packages, and then clear out all the shit that you know is in the way and bring yourself out onto the world stage and me help you do that. So we're working together for 5 hours this coming Sunday. I think it's this coming Sunday. The details are at the link in my bio. Messaging, marketing, magnetism. It's $1,500. For 5 hours on Zoom, we're going to lay out your story, who you were before, who you were after, the voyage you went on, and the results that you have produced that can help other people. That's going to go into your content. I'm going to help you create your content. You're going to go ahead and you're going to create some content while we're together, as a matter of fact. That's another thing I just realized. We're going to have you put content together while we're together on Zoom for 5 hours. And then looking at what's in the way. It's always some shame in there. It's always some, what's going to happen with the judgment and the, okay. When you need to be focusing on the people who are going to be so happy they found you, like this person here who just said, I'm so excited, glad I found your page. What about those people? Aren't you ready to reach those people? Isn't that a big part of your excitement and your motivation to help people? How about you redirect your focus on the people you will be helping versus being absorbed in judgment and, people finding out. And another thing before I move on to Charles Bukowski. For those of you who are going to be doing work that you know your family going to be beefing with you about. I had a phone call with a woman maybe last week who, there's a rapist in the family who is known for molesting the girls. He's known for it. How many of y'all got rapists in your families? And motherfuckers just keep their mouth shut and he just get away with it. Like a predator, a roaming predator in the family that the women know of, and ain't nobody saying nothing because of their own shame, unresolved trauma, worshiping of a male, scared of being found out, the shit that they done. And then here you come, the black sheep of the family. You gonna come and talk about what it's like to be in that kind of family, how suffocating it is. How much it kills your self-esteem, how much it murders your expression in life, how much it has you being a 35, 45-year-old supposed woman, but you feel like a little girl, and how that's affecting your bank account, your creativity, the way you walk through the world, and you ready to raise up your own fucking sword and kill motherfuckers. Yes or the fuck no? Yes or no? Okay, so I talked, I think it was last week, about part of the allure for rapists is taking shit, a woman that doesn't want to be taken. I talked about this last week, and I was talking about that in the context of a woman doing the difficult and high-level work of refining her heart and engaging in dangerous activity, which my company supports you in, so you can walk around planet Earth as a walking sword, as walking flames. Because I'm telling you, when you do listen, I'm tired of yelling on TikTok. I retract the tire part. I'm done with the yelling on TikTok all like that. Have it your motherfucking way, okay? What I'm telling you is, when you're no longer afraid because you do the work my company teaches you, motherfuckers become scared of you. The motherfucking table's reverse, okay? And this is why you need to refine your heart, because if anger is your primary drive, you ain't gonna get far and you ain't gonna sustain. If anger alone and rage is your primary drive, now it can be a ingredient temporarily, but it cannot be your sustaining fuel. Who here is ready to bring their message forward? Who here is ready to have people be scared of you versus you be scared of them? Who here has a story that you know you need to get mature around it, emotionally mature in the clarity, like writing it down with me on Zoom? What is the story? What needs to be told? What has been the most emotionally charged aspects of it? What about it has heart in it? Writing it all down, and then me helping you clarify what is actually bankable, useful to other people, putting it in a package You're going to talk to me on Zoom in a group space on the 26th of January. That's what messaging, marketing, and magnetism is. You're going to create at least 2 pieces of content while we are together with bringing this story forward, which you are going to write down and clarify. I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to know how to write, what to write. I'm going to help you go inside of yourself to get clear about things that either you didn't even think to write, maybe you didn't want to write, dealing with some healing, because as a part of what helps you write the story, in the process of writing, you heal in the process of it. I'm also a master sex shame healer. I just don't market myself as that. This is what we're doing for 5 hours, January 26th. The investment is $1,500. Messaging, marketing, magnetism. You can sign up right now with the link in my bio. The great drunk poet. Who here has heard of Charles Bukowski? Charles Bukowski. Who here has heard of Charles Bukowski? So, Charles Bukowski is a deceased poet. You can look him up. And he was known for being drunk. And he was. You can find interviews of him on YouTube right now. Just being an old drunk creative. But he said that I want to share with all of you now. Because remember earlier I was hollering about we're all going to die. Like, get with it, bitch. He said, we're all going to die. That alone should make us love one another. We're all gonna die, like for sure. We got a lot of shit we doubt, right? Don't you have a lot of stuff you doubt? I don't know, maybe, but you don't doubt that you're gonna die one day. It's coming. It's coming. Being in connection with that reality, for real, should be enough to make motherfuckers get out their own way and do what they came here to do. Love, live abundantly, give, explore. But no, is what he said. But no. Look it up. The Charles Bukowski quote. What did he say? That alone should make us live and love and whoop wop wop. But no, what he said? He said, no, we're loaded down with, what did he say? Basically, fucking rodents. That's why you can have a mother and daughter who be mad at each other and don't talk, go no contact. 2 sisters, 2 friends, and then one of them die. And then the one who's alive, suddenly they be like, I wish I wouldn't have let that get in the way of our relationship. I wish I would, because ain't no coming back from that. See? Death sobers shit up real quick. Let your mama die. Let one of your children die. Let somebody close to you die right now, and how much you gonna change your motherfucking tune about something. See? We all gonna die, and that should make us love one another. But no, we riddled with ego and pettiness and bullshit that don't mean shit. Shout out to the great Charles Bukowski. I say that really for those of you who still tell me you afraid to do something, that's why you ain't did it. Oh, baby, I'm telling you, your deathbed don't care nothing about fear. What a circus. Yes, that's right there. Yes, all of us. What a circus. That alone should make, that right there. And then he said the rest of it. He said that alone should make us love one another. But no, he said more. He said we are something. You see what I'm saying? That part. And then he got another one. Somebody look it up. I think it's called Sun or Flower. What? Basically, he says, if it doesn't burn your gut, don't do it. If it doesn't, he said, if not doing it would drive you mad, do that one. I should memorize that damn. I'm a girl, because that's fire right there. All right. So, if you talking about fear is the reason why you're not doing something, because you ain't got the money, your deathbed don't give a fuck about don't got the money and fear. Bitch, figure it out. Get up in here. Get up in here. Get up in that fire. Get what's going to get you to move. Dig for what gets you to move. Because, girl. And again, I'm talking not to those of you who just want to do, and your life is important. Everybody's life is important. I'm particularly driven by women who have missions to change the world. Big energy broads. Big energy broads. Erotic. Full powered. See? When you're moving around with that, you need to, one, find the thing that moves you and then refine and make sure you don't let nothing get in the way. Okay? It's a skill. It's an elegance. It's a trial and error. It's a refinement. It's a skill. It's an elegance. It's a trial and error. It's a refinement. It's a skill. It's an elegance. It's a trial and error. It's a refinement. Lead them other bitches to themselves. Okay? Lead them other bitches to themselves. Stop. They not going to relate. Stop looking for people to relate to you. When you are a big energy being, do you understand? They're not going to relate because they're not big energy beings. I'm talking about the real kind, meaning you've always been ahead. You were fast as a child. You slowed yourself down because people start talking shit. You too much. You the black sheep. Who do you think you are? Don't you think you should, do this first? Like, take it easy. Slow down. What? That's impossible. You need to get in touch with reality. See, that's the thing about being a big energy being. The reason why you're very aware of what's going on down here, but the reason why you're in touch with a higher reality is because you're meant to bring it down into form here and changing the world. Do you understand that women who are not at that vibrational level are never going to relate? I know you spend so much of your time trying to relate and connect and because the biological need to connect and belong. But this is why my company exists. This is why I have fucking struggled to the fucking top, bitch, so I can be here. Bitch, I die on this fucking hill. Do you die for yours or shut the fuck up? Choose or suffer forever for nothing. Choose or suffer forever for nothing. Go join all the chicken bitches. And I mean that with love, right? The chicken bitches have value. Know who they are and know who you are. Yes or no? So, underneath all this, I know I'm animated and I'm yelling and shit, but underneath all this is a real softness. Real power is soft, y'all. Like that great Asian philosopher, can't remember his name, he said the best way to win a war is to never go to war. The best way to win a war is to never go to war. You see that? I repeat, the best way to win a war is to never go to war. This is what the US doesn't understand and why China is light years ahead of us. I need to get my black ass to Shanghai, I tell you that. I need to get my black ass to Shanghai pronto. Yeah, the art of war. Did you just look that up, Ray, all day? Or is that your wheelhouse? The art of war and Sun Tzu and Asian philosophy. Welcome in, folks. Hey, Gina. You knew. Beautiful. I love that. I love that you knew that and you're here. So, messaging, marketing, magnetism. You see, for those of you who are here on a regular basis, okay, those of you who've been following my content for some time, or even if you're relatively new, like last 30 days, you see the magnetism here. Is it time for you to be your own version of magnetism? Like really turning up the volume on your magnetism, which what we focus on, reconciling your heart, refining your primal self, and shame. Dissolving shame and using it, its dissolution, as fuel. Who here needs to turn up the volume on their magnetism so they can create their content and be fierce in your content, unapologetic? I'm excited to work with you inside of messaging, marketing, and magnetism. You can sign up right now with the link in my bio. Messaging, marketing, magnetism. Messaging, marketing, magnetism. What we're going to do inside of messaging, marketing, magnetism is we're going to look at what in you blocks you every time. What in you makes you rev up and feel like you're ready to go and you excited and I'm on and I'm the bitch and I'm ready and I'm ah. But then when it comes time to actually show up on the world stage, when it comes time to actually hire that team, when it comes time to actually start commanding big, much bigger money sustainably, somehow you just sort of lose what you're up to. Anybody here? So while I'm looking at you and through you on Zoom, this is tremendously valuable to you. As I'm looking at you and through you on Zoom and I'm listening to you talk, I'm looking at exactly where the block is and we're going to burn it. You being receptive to my guidance, we're going to burn it. You being receptive to my guidance, we're going to burn it. You ready to move fast? Because that's what happens when we do this right. And it's a two-way street. It's you being receptive and me looking through you and burning, with your agreement, the blockages in you. So that everything that makes you wait and want to get something else ready and get something else ready and get something else ready, and one day turn into 1 week, which turns into a month, which turns into 3 years, and before you know it, you're 5 years later and you're going in the same circle. I mean, do we need to resolve that? Or no? Because some people like it like that. That feels safer. That's familiar. My start and stop and start and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping for the last 5 years. I know it's dramatic and chaotic, but that feels so much more familiar and safe. I know I'm so sick of this shit. And I know I'm meant for so much more. And I know I can do it, but you can stay there. That's why I said earlier in this live stream, everybody is having their life exactly how they want it. No matter how much they telling you they sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. I fucking hate it. But they've been doing it for 7 years. Yeah, that's exactly how they want it. Remember that? For your mom, your girlfriends, everybody who telling you, I've been working on it. Girl, they've been working on that for 12 years. 3 years. Been working on it. No, they want it exactly how it is. What I'm saying is, if you're ready to get out of that rotten, redundant, boring reality, again, if you are called to change the world with your message, and you know that you are your own enemy, messaging, marketing, magnetism is going to break your redundancy, burn away a lot of the blockages in you, and I'm deliberately making it 5 hot hours. You ready? Ready to laser hot burn? You ready? Or no? The payment is $1,500. You can sign up right now with the link in my bio. Messaging, marketing, magnetism. Messaging, marketing, magnetism. 5 laser hot hours. It's recorded. We're taking your story, bringing it into your content. You're going to create 2 pieces of hot content based on my guidance. I'm going to call forth shame in you. I'm going to call in the shit that you've been unwilling to say and speak. All of that is your blockages. We're going to burn the shit off. Messaging, marketing, magnetism, and amplify your magnetism so people can be drawn to you the way you're drawn to me and more. That's happening on the 26th. So you asked me a question and I immediately say, I don't know. We're the hands of this shit. We are the hand. I don't know. I don't know. Lock. I don't know. I don't know. As soon as I say, I don't know, what happens? See, y'all don't, for those of y'all who don't want freedom, you don't want freedom. You want to live in the land of, I don't know. You see that? I hope you see that. But sometimes we don't want to see it because seeing it then places us in responsibility of how we choose from then forward. Messaging Marketing Magnetism. You can sign up right now with the link in my bio, as well as Shadow Gold. And I look forward to returning talking about how eroticism is a huge, massive part of full power. And if it's not a part of your full power, then it's not full power. You all take good care of yourselves.